I want to talk about how you approached the cinematography for Ted sort of being a fish out of water, because it is a fish out of water story. I mean, he is sort of experiencing this new world to him with the audience. So there has to be moments where he needs to feel and look kind of out of place. Are you doing anything in the lighting or the cinematography to support that?
Yeah, very much. I mean, there's two scenes, I think, in particular that counter each other. There's the press room scene in the pilot where he faces the British media, tabloid media for the first time. And that counters to a few scenes later when he goes into the locker room for the first time. And the first space, he's completely out of his comfort zone. We shot it handheld, also not used, you could say, often in sort of network comedies. We went very close and wide in his face. We put him in the center of frame with a lot of headroom. He was lost in the middle of this space. And that counters then to when we went into the locker room where he enters the room, low angle, feels powerful. It's also center framing as well as a big wide, but this is a space now he's in control of. And you feel that control he has in it. The camera sort of spins round to reveal him in his space. All very steady and controlled as he is. He's comfortable, he's happy. And that's the fish out of water. This is the place where he's comfortable. And I think that visual storytelling, I hope anyway, helped underline his character.
It's always so interesting to me that these cinematography techniques are just timeless. Like that low angle to show power and a lot of headroom to show kind of being lost in the scene. They're just timeless approaches and they work so well all the time. Like I think those techniques, I think, will always be with us because they just work.
I think so. I think you can overuse any technique and it becomes then, it can irritate an audience if you overuse it because you're just too on the nose. It should nearly be invisible. But yes, I think you're right. I don't know how this language has obviously been with us 100 years and it's subconscious.
It really is. So those are great tricks for in the cinematography, and I think you did a great job in having those moments where you felt that way, or where we recognized that he felt that way. But also, what about lighting? Did you do anything in the lighting to kind of create that maybe isolation or that feeling of being lost in a scene?
Yeah, I mean, as I say, in the locker room and areas like that, you can't do too much, definitely when the team's all in that room. But his office, as I say, is squeezed between that room and a training facility. And there I was able to sort of dim down those top lights, use lamps in there, and just to make it a sort of darker, more moody place. And of course, what was really nice, by having that window through into from the locker room, it allowed him to be isolated and lost within that frame. That frame in frame sort of thing again, also timeless, but allows us to isolate him from the team, which was definitely an initial motif. As you get into episodes 7, 8 and series 2, those things sort of change and adapt. But initially it was to separate him from the team, to not use over the shoulders. He was on his own and sort of lost. And it was more in the framing, you could say, and the operating than lighting, except when we could go to like Ted's apartment and we could play much more there with a noir-y feel. But that's generally how we focused on Ted.